We launch into the next couple of panels. I just want to invite someone pretty special up to the stage. So if I can have your attention, grab your seats as we welcome Scott Way from BDO.
Thanks, Ali. Good afternoon, folks. Just a few minutes of your time, if I can, just to firstly thank you for coming along. It's a great number of people to come along to a session like this and a conference like this. On behalf of Andrew Tickle, who's my colleague here, it's BDO's pleasure to be a sponsor of the session and of the conference. I thought we'd just quickly explain to you what BDO is, just in case you're wondering what the three letters are on the pull-up posters. BDO is a firm of chartered accountants and business advisors, and we are an Australia-wide practice, in fact a global practice, covering in broad terms audit, tax and advisory. Andrew is one of the partners within the audit section, and I look after the industrial and organisational psychology part, which is the banner behind me here somewhere, which is part of the advisory group. Our involvement with it's not just sport, but the community sector as well, goes back some 30 years. In fact, I was thinking on the weekend, the inclusive part of this, for those in the room old enough, if you can think back to 1983, was my first introduction to matters inclusive. This was in a former life, where I ran a vocational training centre for disabled people, and our task then was to prove that we could put them into open and unsupported employment. And in fact, the task ended up being quite easy once we worked out the recipe. And the recipe was there was no recipe. And that is, once we treated each individual and their particular needs appropriately, then trying to plug them into mainstream work, as it was then, was relatively straightforward. So we were glad to get on board as sponsors, partly because we believe in this area, of course. Also, we do work in this area, and so we thought it was a logical fit. Just very quickly, again, some of the things that we do: audit. Andrew and his teams look after some of the financial systems, of course. They do system audits as well as internal and external audit. And then on the advisory side, my side, we look after things like organisation reviews, as some of you will know in the room. Governance enhancement, which is a critical issue, particularly for sporting clubs and community groups. It does really start at the very top. We are also ACES and quality assurance auditors as well, and assessors, and then finally we also do workshop facilitation. So I won't take any more of your time other than to say thank you for having us, John, and it is our pleasure to support the conference. Thank you.